Hey guys, this is the part 2 of the pharmacy technician video thing that I'm doing. And so this video, it doesn't go about going to school and how easy it is or how hard it is. But it's more about what goes on in a pharmacy from the pharmacy point of view when you go get a prescription. So starting off, welcome to those that are new, and thanks for the support for those that are continuing to watching. First of all, I just want to say that when you drop off a prescription or your doctor sends a prescriptions to a pharmacy, the first thing that happens, it gets in the system and one of the technicians have to type it in. What that means is they have to look at it and they have to translate basically everything into the system so that it can then be filled by a different technician. So that's why sometimes you see more than 2 people in a pharmacy, because one person is typing in those prescriptions that are being put in. Sometimes it can go up to like 62 prescriptions that have to be typed in. So, and in the meantime, while that person is typing those in and somebody is in the back filling other prescriptions up, the pharmacist actually has to verify that the prescription that that tech typed in is correct. If it is correct, it gets pulled through and it prints out the leaflet that you get with your medication so that the person that's filling it in can fill in the correct medication. Okay, so if it's something going wrong or something incorrect, the pharmacist will never push it through. It will never print. It will never get filled. So that is the process on getting the prescription to get it to the person that fills it. When the person that fills it actually gets it, they have to find the prescription. So think of like, I don't want to say warehouse, that's too big. But think of a room, 10 by 12, filled with prescriptions in different racks and so many different names. And some of them are alphabetically, some others are not. Like say the liquids got to be with the liquids, and the non-liquids had to be with the non-liquids, and then the birth controls are here, and there's some medications that need to be refrigerated. So that person has to then get that leaflet and find that medication, match it to the correct information that is on the leaflet, and then it has to be scanned in these computers that has to match the leaflet to the medication. That also tells you if it's correct and if it's incorrect. And then that person gets to dump the medication and count how many, because in there it tells you how many depending on how many your doctor sent to the pharmacist. Once that's filled, the pharmacist then has to verify that the medication was filled correctly and that it matches the name, the dosage, and it looks like it's supposed to. Once the pharmacist checks that, that's when your medication gets bagged and clipped on and it's ready for you to come pick it up. That process could take anywhere from 5 to an hour and a half, depending on how busy it is. Because while everyone is doing that, at the same time, you have people in drive-thru picking up medications or dropping off prescriptions, and the same thing when they're in store. So if you have 7 people, that could be done. But if you don't have 7 people and you only have 3, those 3 people are doing the same thing over and over. And sometimes things get behind because they do not get a chance to actually work in your medication because it wasn't keyed in or something was wrong. And so that's how it all works out when it's everything done correctly. So sometimes you end up with a hiccup where your insurance does not pay for it, or it's not covering it and it rejects it. So if it doesn't go through and it's rejected, the patient will either pay out of pocket, which nobody wants to pay out of pocket, or you can try different insurance, or sometimes you can try like a coupon card and it can be put in the system. I do recommend that if you are dropping off and you know your insurance may not cover it, or you have a coupon code, you can always give it to the technician and say, hey, can you put this in my file, depending on whatever pharmacist you're in, so that it's in the system already saved for you. And you can say, if you can please just use the one that's cheapest for me, I would really appreciate it. And they can do that then. Because if you don't do it at the beginning when you're dropping it off and you do it when you're picking it up, guess what? The whole thing has to be done all over again. The information has to be keyed in. It has to be reprinted with the leaflet. They have to match the medication. And the pharmacist will still have to verify that. And then you get your prescription. So it's a process that if many don't understand, it can just go sideways, like really, really fast. Sideways. So yeah, if you have new insurance, make sure you give it to them at the beginning, not at the end. Otherwise, you're going to be waiting because everything has to be redone. And then, of course, you have people behind you and you're holding up the line, basically. So that's what happens with the prescriptions when they get sent to the pharmacy and how it gets filled. And when you have insurance issues, it's that pharmacy can't do anything about it. Sometimes the insurance doesn't cover certain things and you need prior authorization. The prior authorization does not come from your doctor. Your doctor has to send proper information to your insurance for your insurance to actually be able to let us bill it through and so that they can pay for it. So if somebody tells you, oh yeah, well, it wasn't covered because you need prior authorization, you have to contact your doctor and your insurance because them two have to work that together before they can send it over to us. The only thing we can do is just send it back to the doctor so the doctor can send proper information to the insurance company and then the insurance company can send it back to us. And then once that's done, your stuff should be processed. Sometimes also keep in mind that insurance companies do change contracts. And so you have to make sure that the pharmacist you're going with actually is contracted with your insurance company. Sometimes they do change drugs and they do change prices or how much they cover. And sometimes when you come pick it up, if it's a different price, it's not because of the pharmacy, it's obviously because your insurance changed something and didn't make you aware of it. Sometimes you get medications that completely stop being covered and they didn't tell you because insurance companies just don't do that. I'm trying to think what else I could say as far as the medications and how it is. That's the process when it comes in and when it leaves the store. As far as that, I will always recommend to use the application of whatever pharmacy you're using. I use Ryder per se. We have that in the East Coast, and so I just refill my medication with the app. I just scan it and I get it delivered. I avoid having to speak to anybody or any issues. Oh, another thing I forgot. While all of that is going on as far as typing in the medications, filling it in, make sure that everything matches, the insurance goes through, the pharmacist check it, the phones are ringing, and the people are waiting in line either in store or in drive-through. And now with COVID shots and COVID testing is even more because you also have walk-ins, people that get shots. It can be shingles, it can be meningitis, any school vaccinations, it could be the COVID shot. And guess what? The only people that can do the shots is the pharmacist. And if the pharmacist is doing the shot and can't fill the prescription or verify the prescription, then it kind of holds everything behind. So anyways, I hope that this has I guess somebody found it helpful with the information that I've provided to you guys about how and what is the process when you get a medication sent to the pharmacy and what they need to do in order for you to get it and what a prior authorization means. So yeah, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Make a comment if you want to. Ask any questions that I may answer in the next video. Bye guys.